Holy crap, what's going on at Intel? 21,000 workers are being laid off this week, and this is in addition to the 15,000 people that were already cut last August. It's mass chaos at Intel right now, and it's all due to cost-cutting measures by a new CEO. And this is the architect, Lip Bhutan, who is the new CEO of Intel. He's only been there for a month, and he's already completely gutting the workforce. Now, he infamously had a major fallout in the board meetings last year. He's actually sat on the board of directors last year and had a major fallout. He was trying to get them to lean the workforce out at that point in time, and he ended up actually leaving the board. What ended up happening afterward is the previous CEO ended up reducing the workforce by 15,000 people back in August. Somehow he makes it back into the organization as a CEO. His first move is to eliminate 21,000 people. Now, this comes at a time when companies like TSMC and NVIDIA, major chip manufacturers, are doubling down on their manufacturing capabilities. They've announced major investments in infrastructure. Intel has been struggling. They've been struggling to keep up, and this action obviously plays right in line with it. It's not just that, they're also divesting major business units. And this is just a sign of a company that has lost its identity and is clearly in crisis. And I think this has to do with adapting to the more modern AI world. Intel has clearly fallen behind their competitors. And I can only imagine how uncomfortable it must be for Intel workers to go into work today as layoff survivors. It's got to be pretty
Yeah,
brutal.
that's sad and crazy. People like, what in the heck is going on? You just wake up and this week we'll let 21,000 people go. You guys, you have to find somewhere else, find something to do. Our dying company that's been dead, a dead horse for so long. 30 days the man been there and he cut you. Ain't nobody safe at this point. Y'all see what's going on? I see it. I see it plain and clear. And I know if you sub to this channel, you see it too. You know what time it is. You're a true watchman. Hey, perilous times.
Hey, just asking for a friend. What are you supposed to do when you lose your job that means the world to you? Because I am truly heartbroken. This is the first job that I've had that I felt like I was making a big difference. And, it was just ripped away from me today. Ugh, this sucks.
The U.S. is headed to depression. The stock market crash is the first indicator, but the next step in this is layoffs. Now, we're going to see it with small businesses, right? Because we're going to see all of these people who can't get their materials from China in order to repackage, sell, manufacture the goods that they intend to sell. So we'll start seeing layoffs there. Retail confidence, of course, has been undermined, and it's been undermined since the day that Trump was elected. There was an immediate drop in the retail market. 10-15% generally is what I'm hearing. That was the that was the early thing, but people didn't necessarily see it. The stock market wild swings are really an indication of a lack of confidence in the market. Now we are seeing layoffs happening. Mack Trucks, I guess, is owned by Volvo. It's not an issue of them importing stuff, and they're not, it's not a panic about tariffs. Although I would imagine there are parts that they get from China, but they're laying off employees now because demand is down. Why is demand down? Because consumer confidence is down. People are panicked about their money. People are already getting laid off, and so demand
Yep, Mack Truck laying off 350 to 400 employees, maybe five. Mack Truck is getting hit too.
is down for transport trucks. Demand is down for airplanes. Think about the 25% increase in aluminum and the cost of that to Boeing. And on top of that, of course, China's going to retaliate. And China retaliating is no more Boeing aircrafts. They're actually returning aircrafts prior to the, being taken into the fleet, returning aircrafts back to Boeing. And so Boeing's going to end up with a 737 sales that they lose, and they're going to end up losing it to Airbus. Boeing is already going to be looking at laying people off. We know, of course, that Tesla is
Yep,
already struggling with their
17,000.
Cybertruck, and they have to deal with that. But we're going to start to see layoffs across the board, and the unemployment rate is going to go up. Now, the problem with this is it's a feedback loop, right? When you have more people laid off, the people don't have the money. It undermines consumer confidence, hurts the market even more, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And ultimately, because of these are MAGA Trumpist methods of running the economy. It's the same thing that the Canadian Conservative Party wants to do in Canada. It's constricting, contracting the economy, making it smaller. And as it gets smaller, it's hard to turn around and get back into a growth mindset. And that is why we ended up in the Great Depression, and the Great Depression lasted so long, was because we couldn't get out of that. It was an impossible thing to get out of that. And it's, they just continue to retrench and come up with more protectionist views. In the long run, this damage that it's going to do to the United States is just monumental, because the whole idea was international cooperation, international trade, and an international exchange of ideas. So people would come to the States and study, the smartest people. They would often stay in the States, which led to innovation in the States. Well, people are not coming to the States. Okay, the tourism blow is going to be a huge blow, but the students coming to the U.S., nobody's going to want to come to the U.S. because it's unsafe to do so. And of course, the protectionist Americans are saying these positions should be available for Americans. Well, how do you think you became such a strong power in the first place? Because you had this exchange of goods and ideas that went freely over the border and led to the increasing value, the skill set, and the knowledge that allowed the society to grow and become what it is. Trump's 90-day pause that he put on tariffs is still, of course, hanging over everybody else, and most of the countries are probably going to work together. It looks like Mark Carney's going to win and become the, again, be the Prime Minister of Canada, and he's going to be able to lead a international response to Trump's tariffs. And of course, we're looking for other avenues to trade, and that's what the rest of the world is doing, which is going to shut out American businesses. Trump has mistaken a trade imbalance, which is not necessarily a bad thing, with somehow being exploited. And it may just be that he's out to destroy the U.S. because he's working for Russia. We don't know. But the next step of this economic decline is layoffs. And will the U.S. ever be the same wealthy country that it was? No, it's not. It's never going to be, because you've just cropped off the top sort of 10% of the wealth in the last 90 days. And in the next 90 days again. So unfortunately, you're going to see like some really bad repercussions for it, and it's usually going to end up injuring children, because there'll be lots of more people going into poverty and things like that, and the effects will be bad for generations to come. You won't remember how good it was in the times before, but it's the long-term damage is really, really unfortunate. And I don't think Americans have even the slightest clue of how much they've enjoyed the wealth that has been generated by their international relations and the international exchange of goods and ideas. However, here we are. This is the situation that we've got, and the rest of the world, we have to work together, solidarity, to deal with the United States, and we have to learn to deal more with each other. Will the U.S. dollar continue to be the standard currency that everyone goes to? Will the U.S. bond market still be something that has the same value? Not a chance. It's not going to be the same one way or another.
Hold on now. Now, we get into a lot of stuff we ain't got no business, but America know how to pull themselves up when we got to. We just not going to get trampled onto the floor. There's a plan that's set out right now. It's affecting a lot of people, and that plan is to reset everything. But people are being affected, and people need to be aware of their situation. Are you on the list of being affected? That's all that is, but I think we'll come out of it. I got hope for us. I haven't lost complete hope, but I am aware of what's going on and see what's going on and keep my eyes open. But let me know what you think down in the comments, you guys. What do you feel about this? He's from Canada, Prairie Paul. Do you think Prairie Paul is correct on this? That it's never going to get better. It's never going to change back to where it was. It's never going to be good again. Good old America been living the high life. You tell me what we're going to do. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger.
If you are a believer, you're born again, you are called to be a watchman or watchwoman or watch person, doesn't matter. So, it means you are someone who's to behold, to look up. You're called to be one who waits on the Lord.